ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಾಟ್ ಆಡಿಬಲ್. ಸರ್ ಇದನ್ನ ತೆಗೀರಿ, ಅದನ್ನ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I, Suresh DB, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechatronics, Sri Aicte-Svce College of Engineering, Bangalore. I would welcome you all for the 8th day first session of 2-week ASAT sponsored online faculty development program on fostering ethics, moral values and character building in technical education, being conducted from 10th December 2020 to 23rd December 2020, organized by Department of Mechatronics, Sri Aicte-Svce College of Bangalore, Engineering, Bangalore. Today we have an eminent personality, Dr. Nirmala S. Gupta, as the session speaker, and I am honored to introduce and welcome her. Welcome you, madam. Dr. Nirmala S. Gupta is an professor in Department of CSE and also head of Curates, Sri Aicte-Svce College of Engineering, Bangalore. Madam has his bachelor's engineering degree in computer science and engineering from Bangalore University, Karnataka, and master's degree in computer science and engineering from Visvesvaraya Technological University, Karnataka. And madam completed her doctoral degree from Reva University, Bangalore. Madam has published papers in 40 conferences and published 10 journal papers in prestigious journal publications. And also madam has published one book chapter in Springer series. Madam has awarded Best Spock Award from Oracle Private India Limited. Okay, madam has guided 19 postgraduate graduate projects, and she also lifetime member of CSI and ACM. Okay, madam has joined Sri Aicte-Svce College of Engineering on 31st August 2020 and has 23 years of experience in teaching and industry. Okay, with this brief introduction, I would welcome you, madam.
Sir, 2 minutes, madam will join.
Sir?
In another 2 minutes, madam will join, sir. Yeah, she is coming. Yes, sir. Sir, over to you, Suresh, sir.
Okay, starting in the madbaki, sir.
Sir, introduction, sir. Introduction.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I, Suresh DB, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechatronics, Sri Aicte-Svce College of Engineering, Bangalore. I would welcome you all for the 8th day first session of 2-week AICTE sponsored online faculty development program on fostering ethics, moral values and character building in technical education, being conducted from 10th December 2020 to 23rd December 2020. Okay, conducted by Department of Mechatronics, Sri Aicte-Svce College of Engineering. Today we have an eminent personality, Dr. Nirmala S. Gupta, as the session speaker, and I am honored to introduce and welcome her. We welcome you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Nirmala S. Gupta is a professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering and also head of Curates, Sri Aicte-Svce College of Engineering, Bangalore. Madam has his bachelor's engineering degree in computer science engineering from Bangalore University, Karnataka, and master's degree in computer science and engineering from Aicte-Svce Technological University, Karnataka. And Madam completed her doctoral degree from Reva University, Bengaluru. Madam has published papers in 40 conferences and published 10 journals papers in prestigious journal publications. And also Madam has published one book chapter in Springer series. Madam has awarded Best Spark Award from Oracle Private India Limited. Okay. Madam has guided 19 postgraduate projects and she also lifetime member of CSI and ACM. Okay, Madam has joined Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering on 31st August 2020 and has 23 years of experience in teaching and industry. With this brief introduction, I would welcome you, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming me.
Okay, Madam. Over to you, Madam.
Okay, sir. So screen is visible?
Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Madam.
So good morning to one and all who is being registered and attending a 2-week online faculty development program on fostering ethics, moral values, character building in technical education, which is being sponsored by AICTE, Atal, to the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bengaluru. And I'm here pleased and honored to got an opportunity to deliver a session in this FDP on holistic ethics in learning, right? So let us see the agenda, like the flow of the presentation. So let us first understand about the holistic. So under holistic, a lot of things are there to discuss, but I'm just giving you the gist and briefly I'm going to touch upon the abstract level of the meaning, the approach, the teaching and learning as the holistic teaching and learning, holistic education, holistic development, holistic lifestyle, holistic ethics. Then we will really move into the second terminology which is there in the session topic for the day is ethics, that to ethics in learning. But before entering into the learning, what I understand is we need to understand the nutshell, the complete portion of education. When the education comes into picture, then the learning is the main part of it. So, but before learning, I would like to say that teaching also play a major and equal balanced way role of the educational system. It could be anything. It could be a mother-child education. It could be a student, faculty who is doing teaching and learning process in a school, in a high school, in a pre-universities, or in the graduate and postgraduate level kind of an education. So let us start with a session for the day with a holistic. So what is this holistic? Everybody say that word holistic learning, holistic teaching, holistic ethics. But what is this? So holistic is an adjective, actually speaking. So which actually describes the things which are related to the idea that as a whole, and it is not more than a part or something like a portion. I could say that it is sum of all its parts, and in layman perspective I can just say that it is in total or totalitarian or totalism, something like that. So the entirety of something which must be considered instead of just considering it as a bits and portions and parts of it, so we collectively call it as a whole. So that is holistic in general, a English meaning. And the philosophy back of this holistic is being called initially as holism. Then the word holistic, it has been come from. And there are a lot of approaches to elaboratively talk on this holistic, which I just listed very few of it, that is holistic meaning, holistic synonym, or what are the ways we call the holistic as. Is there any other words or is there any synonyms which are being available to define or which are available to make a person or make us to understand the holistic? So holistic is nothing but all encompassing, and I could say complete, and I could also say across the board, whole, coherent, all around, totalitarian, and what I said as full scale, full fledged, all out, synthetic, overall, in a very simplistic English. And it's a one stop approach or one stop wherein we get everything. Okay. So it is an exhaustive topic, what I could say here holistic means. And as I said, holistic is seeking an approach where fully we need to activate all the aspects of the learner personalities. When I say learner personalities, a lot of dimensions play a role, but in that I'm just giving you only few and more important, the learner personality as the aspects called as intellectual, emotional, imaginational, and physical, that is our body language, which are the more effective and the comprehensive learning aspects. So we will really go into the depth of each and every portion, each and every part of this holistic in terms of the approaches, the development, the lifestyle, the education, the learning and teaching. Then finally, we try to elaboratively give ethics, that is holistic ethics. Next, let us see the approach, right? So there are two pictures which I have put it. One is from the perspective of generic sense or from a personality sense. What is this holistic approach? In the second diagram, which is being written as the result, actually, the result of the holistic approach is being depicted in the second picture. Okay, so the results which are based on the holistic approach is depicted in the second figure. But let us understand, we just came to know the word or the meaning or the phrase or the synonym of holistic. Let us know a little bit deeper into the approach of holistic, right? So what does this holistic approach means? So the holistic approach is used to provide a support that looks at the whole person. It is not like looking at my face, looking at my body, looking at my the speech and the communication, what I'm trying to do, and looking at my body language, what I'm trying to say through my gestures. Not like that. Anyone we are not going to consider. So we're going to see the completion of the whole person. So not just their mental health needs or physical health needs or the spiritual or some kind of an gestural needs. So the support should also be considered with their physical, emotional, social, spiritual well-being. So a holistic approach mainly focuses on a person's wellness as a nutshell. So in a whole, the wellness of a person, we are going to see not just their illness or their condition, how they are, what they are, where they are, and what exactly they are doing it into. So we see from the perspective of all the aspects, from all the dimensions. So that's why the holistic approach means it is completely looks at the whole person, how the person is, that is physical look, and where he or she is, that is environmental look, then in which condition the person is, the emotion. So whether they are in the stressed mode or whether they are in the happy mode or whether they are in the unhappy or saddest part of it, or what is their intellectual. So then what are their occupational behaviors, their spiritual behaviors. Then we will try to touch upon the dollar, which is given in the figure 1, financial. Then obviously the social is the most important aspect which play a major role in holistic approach. Then what are the examples we can consider it for the holistic approach? Let me take one or the few examples from a personality point of view, like we the persons, like. So the holistic is the health care. So I'm just taking an example of a person or a personality in terms of defining or giving the definition or the meaning as the approach towards the healthcare. So what is the healthcare of a person focuses on? So it focuses on the health of the person. whether the health of the person is in a good condition or not. So if it is not in a good condition, whether the entire body is not healthy, or whether the mind is not healthy, or any kind of a part of the body is not working, or is it the whole system is not working, whole nervous system is not working, or whole the flow of the blood is not circulated. So we need to see that how we can relate the holistic to the idea that the thing should be studied in a whole, not just as the sum of their parts. So a doctor normally see the patient. When I go and say that I just got the cold, now due to the pandemic, the cold means that is the minimum symptom which a doctor tried to predict that you might have got COVID-19, right? But it could be a normal cold due to the seasonal change, due to the weather change, due to the temperature change, due to the food style, what I'm using it. Might be I would have had a lot of the items which were causing some kind of an allergies to bring in that common cold, right? So they try to pick it up, all the information, then they try to predict what kind of a problem the person or the patient is having. So in that sense, we can say that holistic approach provides the supports that looks at the whole person, not just by considering the need in terms of one aspect. It could be like the complete. So the mental stress also makes us to get a lot of allergies. The stress makes us to become ill, right? So that's why the results are being put forth in the second picture as the health, which I took it as an example to give you the elaborative definition of the holistic approach. Then the relationships, the identity, the money, the career, and the future. So let us move to the next portion of the broad perspective of holistic teaching and learning. Holistic teaching and learning. But here there are again the two things I'm going to discuss. So the very first thing as a flow chart, which is comprising of all words starting with E. So you're able to see that. And I have been taken this as the learning cycle, or it is being called as 5 E's. Actually speaking, 4 E's to be considered as the first. So that is engage, explore, explain, and extend. Okay, so this is a 5E learning life cycle which was being developed by the biological sciences curriculum study, which was being specifically which was being used in specific to use in the teaching science. And the learning cycle has the 4 phases. Then you may get a question, ma'am, then what do you mean by the fifth one, which is sitting in the center of the diagram as the flow, and it is all the whole word evaluate is being connected to everything. But engage, connecting to explore, that is the flow going towards explore sequentially. Then from explore, the sequence is being flowing towards explain. From explain, it is going to extend. Then from extend to engage. Right. Let us discuss one by one. What are these 4 E's standing in the learning cycle, which is being developed by the biological sciences? The very first one is engage. What is this engage? As we, the faculties, we, the professional teachers, okay, so we are into the educational system, okay, so engage, in which the student interest is captured. So always your HOD or your peer might have told you like, okay, today I'm unable to take my class, please go and engage my class. Means their class, you are supposed to engage. But you are not the subject teacher of that particular semester, and moreover, might be you are not at all very much well versed with that particular subject, but need not be necessarily that you need to be very knowledgeable in the topic, but you can go ahead and engage the students. But first, as a professional teacher or as a teacher, I don't use the word profession, I just use the word teacher because we're all the teachers. So we need to enter into the class, and after entering into the class, we try to do the introduction, as all of us know, right? So we just try to dig into the mentality of the students and the students, what they are interested in, first of all. And once we introduce each other and we know the interest of the students, then we try to elaboratively start our discussion or start our lecturing, right, on the topic, which can establish a healthy environment for that whole 1 hour or some 45 to 50 minutes in the class. So engage is nothing but engage in which the students are interested. If the student interest is not there in DBMS, what can I do? I cannot teach them, but first I need to bring the interest in the students. Straight away, I should not start the syllabus. Straight away, I should not talk on the topic. What I was planned to do it in the class. But I need to establish the connectivity with the students in terms of knowing their interest and bring some kind of an analogical examples where the students fall in to listen what my ma'am is going to deliver it in next 45 or 50 minutes. So my class is so interesting today, even though some XYZ teacher is entered and who is really delivering what we are interested, right? The second letter E in the learning cycle from engage, it goes to explore, right? And explore, in which the student is allowed to construct the knowledge. When I start talking about the data, I don't enter into the topic directly, but I just say, what's your name? I just try to dig, explore, what's your name? And the student is allowed to talk. And when the student is allowed to talk, I try to correlate the name of the student as the data. Semester is the data. Section is the data. And what is the class they were supposed to attend is an information or the data. So I try to construct the knowledge in the topic through the facilitated questioning and answering and getting the answers from my students. Then I try to make an observation based on it. So that is the whole process of explore is in the learning cycle. Then once I explore and I establish the students to think and acknowledge and construct the knowledge, and I try to get their connect to my class, then I try to explain. That is the main thing. Normally, we are supposed to do it in the class, but we try to do syllabus coverage is more important. Let me start with DBMS, blah, blah, blah. I'll start like that. But that's not the actual approach we are supposed to do. So we have to start engaging, bring in the interest. After bringing in the interest, dig into their knowledge and establish and make them to build the knowledge to be constructed in the topic what you plan to deliver without telling them directly the topic and the heading and the title, subtitles, everything. Then you have to start questioning and bringing their attention and observation towards your topic. Then the explain will help the students to understand. That explain process will make the faculty to explain that what they have been discovered with the two other letters E and E, which is engage and explore. Then the instructor leads to the discussion of the topic. Actually, the topic will start in the third E, that is explain. And this is used to make and to refine the students' understanding. So we have to do this in every day class, whether it is online or offline or whatever the kind of the session I'm trying to bring it. The same thing even I'm trying to do it here. I'm not straight away jumping into the ethics. I'm not straight away jumping into the holistic ethics in learning. I'm trying to dig. I'm trying to establish the connect. And I'm trying to bring out the interest in this topic, right? Then the flow goes to extend, in which the students are asked to apply what we explained, what they understand, or sorry, what they understood from the explanation on the topic, what we delivered, and we ask the students, and in which we try to see the students are asked to apply that knowledge and apply that understanding and what they have been learned in different kinds of an examples, what we have used to reach to the topic, and we try to ask them to correlate and make an what you could say, make an abstract explanation on that particular topic. And we, the faculties, we do that normally. When we try to start the class, we start with an objective and we try to end the class by giving a summary or the key takeaways. after the session, when we are before ending the session. We say that today we discuss so and so, so and so, so and so, and the intention was this, and we covered this, and end of the day, these are the applications which we can derive as an outcome, and these are the things which are being achieved as the outcome of the topic. And we will say that, okay, we are completed the session for today, so next class I'm going to talk on the topic so and so, right? Now, the whole process started from engage and end with extend. Okay, then what is the role of this evaluate, which is the most important actually, the fifth letter E, which stands for evaluate. So evaluate, in which the student's role obviously comes, but the instructor or the faculty or the teacher role is more, because the teacher has to observe each student's knowledge and understanding capabilities, of the level of understanding, and it leads to the students to access whether they have learned anything and whether they have learned is true topic. It's not like beyond the topic or beyond the scope of the topic. If they learned also, it's very much well and good, but still we try to say that if I say data definition for today's class means end of the day I see that all my 60 students are in a position to explain or demonstrate the data word, right? So this is about the 5 letters which are available as 5 E's are the learning cycle, that is the holistic learning cycle, which has been elaboratively explained or which is elaboratively depicted as the 4 phases, with the 5th phase, which is most important end of the day for all of us. Not only for us, it is for all of us, both us as well as the students. The next is the 5 ways to implement the holistic approach in early childhood education. Particularly, I take the childhood because this is most important, and every one of us would have been crossed that childhood path, and our students are all the youngsters now above 18 or 18, 19, 20, 21 or 19, 20, 21, 22 age. We get it in our technical education. Okay, so there are 5 ways to implement this holistic approach in the early childhood education. So what I listed as literacy learning, expressive art design, motor skills development, sensory development, speech and communication. To be frank, these are not only to be considered, to be implemented as a holistic approach in the early childhood education, even it is very much required in every phase of the child group. Okay, might be I'm touching the early childhood, but we can make an observation and we can just experience daily, we the human beings, we the persons, we experience a lot of these ways wherein we are implementing or we are yet to implement even in the age of 30, 35, 25 also. As my personal experience, I'm just giving you this. Okay, so teaching and learning is actually a pattern which has been evolved over the time. So teaching has moved from the theoretical perspective to practical perspective, or we say scenario based perspective. Okay, so everywhere this is the buzzword, this is the word in an education system we come to know. No, like A plus B is equal to C, 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. Who is interested in knowing that? Right? I need to make that A plus B is equal to C more interesting, more lively. But how I'm going to do that? I have to teach A plus B is equal to C only. But the way I use the scenario or the case study or the analogy or a model or a practical scenario based explanation, what I try to use it to explain that simple formula makes my audience or makes my child or a student to understand, right? So the holistic approach, as the name itself, it suggests that it covers the wide range of skills, teaching tools, goals, aspirations for every one of us, but I'm talking in terms of children's learning. That extends well beyond academic learning into the fields of the main aspects what I discussed in my previous content, that is social skills, artistic skills, the physical skills, spiritual skills, and emotional development skills of a child. So it experiences and the opportunities will be provided for the kids to explore more and more to establish their social connectivity, to establish their artistic skill to be extended, and more challenges they try to face it physically. If somebody hits them in the park, somebody push them in the park, they must be in a position to handle themselves. They must be an independent, right? So when I start from the early childhood education to describe about this holistic approach, so this holistic approach should be given importance since from the toddler days, when the child is 2 years, when the child is actually not even 2 years, the month's baby, I could say. From the toddler days, the children learn different things at different stages. Example, crawling, 4 months, 5 months, 7 months, 8 months, it goes on. And then they start walking. Before walking, they try to stand, they try to walk, then they try to babble, then they try to talk. Like this, I can list it out n number of things. Okay. But what we are able to see and say is the biggest benefit of the holistic approach is not just about the mental development of the child, but it also resolves around the physiological development, psychological development, social development, emotional development, and even spiritual growth of the child. So it helps the children to develop their overall skills and build their strengths. So here I listed only 5 ways to implement the holistic approach in the early childhood education. Early childhood education. What is this literacy learning? It is a fundamental learning or a fundamental ability. Now I'll take a little bit into the students because we're all the professional teachers and we're handling all the undergraduate, postgraduate students. Okay, so it is the fundamental ability of a student to understand and evaluate the meaning through reading, through writing, through listening, through speaking, through viewing, through representing. So it acts as the main focus of achievement in all the areas, of learning as the student progress through as early as possible. But as early means in the early childhood or toddler, babysitting, then Montessori school, then the KG, that is KGs, upper KG, lower KG, then they enter into the pre-primary school. That is after pre-primary, they enter into the primary, right? Then it goes on. Like, it also provides normally like the literacy development of a child or a student. It starts even hearing about the sounds. The toddler, the baby, month's baby, it listens to the words, it listens to the sounds, it tries to imitate the sound what the baby is listening, and it picks up the words. Then it sees the toys and it tries to sense it, touch it, lick it, taste it. So all the sensory things come into picture. So that is through eyes. It is able to see the object or the toy. It is able to hear the sound what the toy is making. It is able to learn the sound what it is making through the ears, and it is able to touch the shape and the size. Then the language build into picture, and the language will come out as an outcome from the toddler or a baby as a word. There the language or the learning, the literacy development is the learning about the sounds, words, shapes, sizes, languages, etc. So it is the basis of a child ability to read, write, communicate, and socialize when the child moves from the toddler to pre-primary. Then it goes on. Then they start developing the communication with the other children, reading the books, listening to rhymes, playing with the rhymes, board games, puzzles, etc., etc., etc. So earlier literacy development is very, very important for any child or for the children. So it is an everyday process. Every day, the daily routine life of a mother or the maid or the grandma or the grandpa or the father, everyone plays a major role in developing this literacy learning. And this happens throughout the our life cycle of a human being, what I could say. Even daily, I learn in the age of 45. I learn from my child, I learn from my spouse, I learn from my maid, I learn from the environment where I'm staying, right? The second thing is expressive art design. What is this expressive art? Everyone knows art and craft class is there for my child today. I need to provide them the paper. I need to provide them the scissor. I need to provide them the glue. But we never think what exactly the teacher is trying to express by all those materials and what my child is going to learn and express from that art, what he or she is designing. So there we the human beings, we the parents, we the teachers, we fall in, right? Where we fall in, not trying to understand the child or the student's thinking, the child and the student's imagination, creativity, ability to use the media, ability to use the material. So that's why expressive art design play a very, very much major role for a child or a student to explore and play with a wide range of media, wide range of materials, and it also provides the opportunity and encouragement for leveraging their thoughts through the art. Many people won't communicate, many people won't talk much, but their art, their design, their creativity will express what the person is, right? So all these approaches to the expressive art, which helps the students to represent and understand their own interest, their own skills, ideas, which further help their development. So this is the second way to implement the holistic approach. The third is motor skills. And as a medical terminology, technical terminology, to be frank, the motor skill is always associated. It's not the motor, the car I'm talking about. The Ford or Skoda or nowadays Kia is making a lot of sound in the market, right? Motor means it is actually associated with the muscle activity of a person, muscle activity of a human being. It includes 6 most components, which are agility, balance, coordination, power, reaction time, and the speed. And motor skills in technical terminology or medical terminology or in our daily life also might be, as a mother, even I would have not known all these things, to be frank to say. And after a few years, I just came to elaboratively dig into the things of the terms and the technology and the terminology which is being used by the teachers, used by the school environment, used by the doctors. Then I tried to understand this from last 3-4 years only, I could say honestly. There the ethics fall in me also. You can understand about your the speaker, right? So there are 2 types of the motor skills actually for every human being, for every child, right? So the one is the fine motor skills and the second one is the gross motor skills. So what is this fine motor skills, ma'am? And what is really required for us as an engineering teacher? Yes, it is very much required to know this. Why? We might be not observing that 60 people I need to teach and I got only 3.5 months time to do my delivery of 50 hours of class and I need to complete my syllabus. I need to do blah, 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 lot of things. The whole process is having lot of n number of tasks, but still I need to look into this for at least a portion of my students whom I'm addressing, whom I'm teaching. Okay, so the fine motor skills are the small movements. For instance, a child, okay, moves the hands. Why the child is moving the hand like this? Is there any abnormality? And even the student, why the student is playing with a pen? Is there any abnormality, right? So we need to make an observation that it starts when the kid is a toddler and aids to growth, its intelligence, and develops continuously throughout the growing up stages from toddler to preschooler, preschooler to primary, primary to higher primary to high school to pre-university, then university, etc., etc. Right? So why they are moving their hands and fingers in my class? And why they are not sitting in a 90 degrees posture? And why they are changing the gestures? There we can really, really observe and analyze that. Is it my class is very interesting? There the ethics fall into picture. Okay, so then I don't want to dig into a lot of things about the fine motor skills. I'll just talk a brief on gross motor skills. What do you mean by the gross motor skills? Both are motor skills only? No, ma'am. Then both are related to the muscular activity or the muscle activities, right? But gross motor activities are the larger movements in everyone's body. I need to climb the stairs. Yes, I'm using the gross motor skills. How I need to place my leg, not 2 legs at a time. I'm jumping. But I should be very careful when I'm jumping on the steps. While climbing up, I'm talking, not climbing down. Climbing up is fine. Climbing down is also fine. But when you are taking care of all the necessary movements. Okay, so gross motor skills are the larger movements in which the child arms, legs, feet, mostly the entire body are involved. For instance, crawling, running, jumping, dancing, playing. These are the few gross motor skills. So these motor skills allows a child to gain the strength, confidence in their bodies, and they try to elaboratively increase their learning perspective. Okay, and it also helps them to focus on their well-being. Giving importance to the development of these skills helps the children to deal with more complex skills in the future. Excuse me. Next, last but one is sensory. And I already said about the sensory development. But I didn't talk about the development, but I was taking in one of the scenario, talking about the sensory things. The child play with the toy, how it will play. Everyone would have been observed in your house. The child, when it sees or it takes a toy, immediately they'll put it into the mouth first. Because they just wanted to test the taste. The child think that whether it is an eatable, what my mama has given. Right? So the sensory development begins during the gestation. It's not after the birth. It gets the sense of the food. It gets the sense of the movement when the child is in the womb of the mother. And continues throughout the childhood. And infants discovered their world through the senses. The senses are categorized into two broad categories, that is external sensing and internal sensing. And the 5 similar or familiar external senses, what we all are having and we all are using, we are all experiencing in our daily routine from morning to evening and evening to night and night to morning. It's a life cycle, it's a complete cycle. Okay, so that is sight, eyes. Through eyes we see. That is one sense organ. Smell, nose. Taste, my tongue. Hearing, that is my ears. And skin, which touch and feel and judge. Right? So one of the best way to develop the sensory skills is to use the contrasting taste, smell to raise the child awareness. That's what I was telling you when the toy is given directly, not even one child. I might have observed in my whole experience that they directly play with the toy. They see, they touch, and before touching and feeling the shape and the size, but they put it into the mouth first. Okay, so like this, the sensory development does also play a major role, and it is one of the way to implement the holistic approach in a child education, that is early childhood education. Then the speech and communication, actually this is more important from the birth of the child until they die. I don't say child or a student. Speech and communication is the most important and the major skill to be developed in every one of us, because there the expressivity role comes. Means how I'm going to express. Now I'm going to express using a normal English language, and I'm using the mode of expressing my content through a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. And I might have gathered the information through my beautiful search engine, which everyone uses at Google, right? Or some textbooks or some journal papers. Okay, so speech and communication is another major skill that the child needs. The speech must be very clear. Okay, speech must be very clear and concise. The articulation of the words and what the articulation of the words should appear for the easy understanding. I can't speak Greek and Latin in front of a person who doesn't know even the English, who knows only Kannada. Let me talk to them in the Kannada beautifully. Why I need to use Greek and French and Latin, right? And what I'm speaking even in the Kannada, everyone should understand. That is the intention of the speaker should be, right? If I'm pronouncing the word, everybody should listen to it and catch that word and try to get the meaning and the definition of the word. Otherwise, there is no point in communicating with that word only. The speech must be clear and concise, and the articulation of the word should appear very properly for everyone's easy understanding. So the communication skills allow the child or allow the student to express themselves very clearly and confidently in all the aspects and areas of their life. Because we know, we have experienced very much in a team of 4 students who have done the project. We can see that only one fellow is a very good communicator, and his speech, his pronunciation, communication, English, wonderful. But actually speaking, that person's role might be not even 30% in the whole project implementation and execution. Okay, so judging, analyzing, observing, then bringing the facts into the reality makes the sense of a teacher to award and reward through the proper ethical evaluation process when we try to conduct a demonstration of a project, or when we try to do a Viva OC. But normally what it happens, even it was happened to me initially for 5 to 10 years, if I'm not wrong. I used to judge by looking the perspective of the body language, from the perspective of the speech, from the perspective of the articulation of the word and the communication. Then I used to give. Then I started digging into it. Why that fellow is very reserved and standing calm in a one corner in the presentation on the dais in the classroom or a seminar hall might be where I'm going wrong. So I started analyzing and understanding in that 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes presentation only whose role was, how much the percentage, then what ethically I need to evaluate. I should be very ethical as a teacher, as a professional professor, I could say, and ours is a noble profession. And ethics play a most important role in our daily life in profession. Okay, so the holistic approach towards teaching, I was keep on telling you, learning from the perspective of the child. Also, I took an case study kind of a stuff to explain you the 5 ways to implement the holistic approach in early childhood education. But now I would like to really give you the brief. Again, we will be talking elaboratively, but still the other sides are there on teaching and learning. Okay, so the approach that seeks to fully activate all the aspects of the learner personality, that is intellect, emotion, imagination, and the body language, that is physical, for more effective and comprehensive learning. If just the student is sitting in the class, we use the statement. I think from last 22 years, I'm listening this, and I'm also I was using, but not now I'm using, because the experience makes the woman perfect or man perfect, right? Because the experience made me to judge my students, judge my audience, right? Initially, I might have used this statement in 90s or 2000, not I think later, 2000 from last, I think 10 to 15 years. Whenever I used to take corporates also, I used to see that a 50-aged person would have been sitting in front of me as a student in the corporate trainings, where I was teaching them lots of software as the tools, what they were supposed to use it for their projects. As a corporate trainer, I was delivering. But I need to know how effectively I can make that 50-aged team lead to involve in my class, even though I'm so younger, 30-age lady, okay, who is handling 50-aged, my student in my MTech also. Recently, when I was teaching my PG students, they were all like manager levels or project lead levels, and one person was a top-end management person from HCL. Okay, so how more effectively I'm going to make them to understand lively, they need to understand, not from the perspective like I'm teaching, so I just need to teach. No, whom I'm teaching, that I need to analyze. It's not that I'm teaching a 10 years child, 20 years child in my BTech, whom I'm addressing as an undergraduate student. Their mentality, their level of understanding, their mental capabilities and abilities are going to be very much differing from every student from the toddler to ourselves as a human beings. Right? So this is about the holistic approach, and we were really digging into the holistic learning. Let me change the slide and we try to look into this. What exactly the holistic learning is? What do you mean by this holistic learning? It is essentially education for the whole learner, because we know the word whole as holistic. Learning means learner. When I teach something, my target is completely 100% the minimum target, and more than 100% also my audience or my student should learn, or my child should learn, or my spouse should understand and learn when I'm teaching. Like that, the teacher could be. The teacher could be a mother, teacher could be a spouse, teacher could be anybody. Even our peers are teachers to us, or might be we the teachers to our subordinates and peers, right? So holistic learning actually facilitates and nurtures the students' intellectual, physical, social, creative, emotional capacities, capabilities, and we prepare the learners for the real life. It's not like VTU, okay, get the degree, get lost. That should not be the case. What I understand, I as a professor implementing, I don't say implemented because that's a past tense. Still I'm a teacher, still I'm a professor, right? I'm doing daily. I prepare my students for the real life, not just for the sake of writing the exam, not just for sake of attempting the questions for 16 marks or 20 marks, and 5 questions they need to attempt, and they need to get a good CGPA and grading and get lost from the degree certificate, right? So they must be prepared in such a way that not for just writing the exam and getting the degree. As a teacher, we need to make our all students, it's not one or it's not a portion, because I'm talking about holistic as a whole. If I'm targeting about 60, so all my 60 students must be prepared with the skills and understandings to interact with the real world, navigate the uncertainties that the life will throw it on them or throw it on us. We are the learners daily. We learn every moment. I don't say minute or second or the hour. There is a limitation, but I use the word moment. Every moment we learn, right? So holistic learning is essentially the education for the whole learner. Okay, so that means that we need to provide the opportunities for our students to develop, to face the daily life, the real challenges. Throughout the life, they need to face it. Okay, and they need to correlate what they learned today as a data. It's not the data as a technical definition, as a one line I give it from the textbook by Navathe or from Raghu Ramakrishnan, right? I must be making my child or my student to say that what does data means. They should say that definition based on the circumstance, based on the scenario, based on the place, based on the time where they are standing in their life. They must be in a position to say what is data. Okay, so the skills should be developed holistically. So the students has to get the holistic learning every day in every class by every topic. As a whole, we need to give. And there are the slides which I was thinking to give you more pictures than the content. That's why I have put a lot of pictures, lot of images, and even more videos are there. If time permits, I will be running the videos also. Let me see that. Okay, so holistic learning is completely giving us the information about the physical learning, social, emotional, artistic, creative, intellectual. Then as a student, we are trying to put it in as a whole. Okay, so the when I start from the creative, because I start from my left hand side, I don't enter into the intellectual immediately. Intellectual, normally I put it in the middle, because there are 5 aspects of holistic learning. First is creative and artistic. If you are not creative teacher, if your student is not creative student, then it's a one-way speech. You say blah, 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 they'll listen or they may not listen. This seems to look like they're listening to you, but they may just get lost after 60 minutes of the class. Okay, so the art, that is the opportunity for the creative expression. and the opportunity for making your audience or your student or the child or anybody understanding how the creative stimulus helps us or helps the child or the student to understand the versions of the world, because we are making the child or the student to get ready for the real life, not for that particular moment. That is in the class of 60 minutes, right? And our what is our role, our place in the whole world? For that, we need to build the opportunities. So we need to have the opportunities. It's not like one way. I build the opportunity, but my student is not trying to accept it, then it's a mere waste of my energy, waste of my time, waste of his or her time. So it should be kept open. When I'm openly explaining, when I'm openly giving the opportunity, my opposite person, means my audience, must be there to accept it. It should be kept open. The door should be kept open. Your mind, your brain, right? So that is creative or artistic aspect. Then the second one, I go immediately opposite to that. That is my right hand side, physical. That is more important. Okay, I keep my mind open, but physically my body is in the sleep mode, subconscious mode. How much my subconscious mode will work, you know? In 60 minutes, only 20 minutes, your subconscious mind will work. Your another 40 minutes will be your happy sleep, wherein you will be in a death state. Don't take it in a wrong way. I mean to say that you are dead, means everything is sleeping. But the 20 minutes is the most important, even when you are in the sleep. Whatever you wanted to touch upon, whatever you wanted to give it to the person, the 20 minutes you need to utilize. But how will you judge that? What is the 20 minutes? Again, I need a lot of time to explain you that process, but just I'm saying that physical means it is using and developing our full range of the physical and sensory capacities to make the sense to the world, and to make the sense to the world around us, where we are, what we are doing, what I'm addressing today. So I need to make the whole ambience to be set up and my audience to be listening to me, and my audience should take away at least what is this holistic ethics and learning, ethics in actually education, I could say. Teaching and learning is the part and parcel of your education system. Right? Then let me come back to the middle portion. That is when I said left and right, the middle portion is intellectual. So what is this intellectual? The knowledge and the understanding of the world. The conceptual knowledge, establishing the conceptual behavior and having the physical connect and making the connections and building the intellectual capacity. And we need to have the executive functional skills, including the cognitive skills. Okay. Then again, we will move diagonally down to the physical, that is social. It is more and more important. You can't be alone. Okay. There are a lot of proverbs in Kannada and Telugu. I don't want to really tell you all these things, because every day we might have used in our conversations also. Okay. Bhavikappe. Andre, the frog is put a boundary. So it has to be there in that whole one well. We don't know even the dimension, as the dimension and the diameter of the well is also, right? So we need to face the world. We need to connect to the world. We need to socialize. We need to communicate. We know the language, but we are not using the language. We know the skill, but we are not using the skill to elaboratively extend to the world, right? So face to face is most important. Understanding the social system, understanding the social rules, and understanding the whole system and managing one's own interactions. And now virtually we are interacting due to the COVID-19, because we are unable to do the offline classes, we are unable to go to friends' house, we are unable to go to events, we are unable to go to any resort or restaurant, because we are scared from where we get this corona, right? So virtually or digitally or physically, we need to make an understanding, decoding, critical awareness of one's thought, one's own mentality and others' interactions, either virtually or physically. It depends on how you are trying to establish the connectivity to the Social aspect. It's not the social media I'm talking about. Yes, people do that because virtual, no. Digital, no, ma'am. COVID is there. Why should I go? I can communicate through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right? WhatsApp, Telegram, etc., etc. Then the most important aspect comes in the holistic learning is emotional, recognizing and regulating our own behaviors as well as the other behaviors. Today I'm very sad because I had a fighting with my spouse. A lot of arguments went on in the morning. Can I bring that into picture when I'm handling the session with you? Then it will be something like Hitler handling the Third World War, right? Emotional. I need to understand where I am. Whatever is happen, finish. Just leave it. Ignore it. Ignoring is the only skill which help us to do the holistic learning, I could say, in a whole. Ignore means not ignoring the topic what your teacher taught. Ignoring what your plan to deliver it in the class. No, that's not. The unwanted things, unnecessary arguments, unnecessary fightings, unnecessary annoyings, blames. You can handle it later. I can handle it later, my husband, right? Now I should not be that emotional. I cannot bring that emotion here into the picture when I'm trying to deliver the topic database management system or holistic ethics in learning, right? So I need to recognize, regulate my own emotion as well as the other emotion, my own behavior and others' behavior. And I need to have the regulatory system in such a way that in myself and others to trigger and get the responses in an appropriate manner in my class. When I say 10 plus 20 is what, my student should not say 50, ma'am. It's making fun. Okay, good. It's a fun. I should not become emotionally angered. I should not get my hypertension to go up. I should say, oh, is it? Oh, there is a new formula. Oh, you did a research on it. Then how could be possible? Justify the answer. Like that, you need to talk. We should not say immediately, hey, idiot, how can you say 10 plus 20 is equal to 50? No, not like that. Oh, is it? Wonderful. I thought it is 30, but you are saying 50. Then what could be the logic back of getting the answer as 50? So you need to create the space between the action and the reaction as a teacher and as a student, and where the emotional responses play a major role, and it is very, very much concerned aspect to be there in place, then only the healthier learning happen anywhere in the world. Not only with a student whom we are handling, undergraduate or postgraduate, it will happen with everywhere, with everyone in the whole world. Because we are all human beings, we learn everything, every day, every moment. Now the question comes, ma'am, why is it so important, ma'am? You're talking so much on holistic learning. Let me learn my database, let me learn my computer science and get rid of this. Anyway, my father's business is there. And what do I do with this computers and all, the programming language and all? Why is it so important? It is okay as part of the VTU syllabus, as part of the rules and regulations given by the university, you need to get a degree because you need to have the dignity in the society, because the society should respect you. Oh, he's an engineer, he's a BE graduate, she is a doctorate, right? But why is the holistic learning is so important in our daily life, in education system? So all these elements, when I said intellectual, physical, creative, social, emotional, right, everything play the significant role in the students' learning, as they are the aptitudes. The word buzzword come, technical word come. Okay, aptitudes that makes us a human. Otherwise, we might have not called ourselves as humans. We might have become an animal. We would have been in jungle. Why we need to be there in a house, in a flat, in a beautiful villa, right? So these makes the skills to arise from the holistic learning and stands us ahead of again the latest technology, the latest buzzword in the computer science and everywhere I could say artificial intelligence comes into picture. Okay, so ability to evolve, ability to adapt to our changing world, we need to teach. I can't really teach Pascal and C program and the Fortran program, what I learnt in my Bangalore University BTech course in 1994 to 98. Can I teach? My students will run away. Hey, what this lady is talking? Oh God, it's so boring. She comes, writes too much on the board. But when I teach, a robot can teach your database management system class, then the students show the interest. Yes, it is happening. We can be replaced with a robot. Human can be replaced with a robot. The robot can act like a teacher. It is all done and experiencing and experimenting, and it started in Japan, if I'm not wrong. Okay. So furthermore, the development of all these elements help the students to interact and contribute to their worlds fully, wholly. That is holistic learning. And when the students develop these skills and aptitudes, they gain a very greater heights of sense of well-being. Please understand, this is most important. And everywhere you can see that due to pandemic, due to lockdown, due to corona, due to XYZ, meditation. What is that meditation? No one knows, right? But they say, no, I'm going to yoga class. I'm doing power yoga. And I do meditate every day. But actually they doesn't know what they are doing and why they are doing, how they are doing, and what affects. Whether it is holistic meditation, I can correlate and say so many things on this holistic meditation. But we're not going to do that. But we need to bring that in our students' mindset, saying that all these skills need to be developed so that these skills and the aptitudes they gain to a greater and heights of sense of well-being as they are more able to direct and manage their own lives. First thing is life skills, and drawing from their intrinsic motivation to learn, they start learning. It need not be necessary DBMS, it need not be necessary signal processing, it need not be necessary management. Every moment the mind will make that person to learn, right? So next is a quote from John Dewey. Education is not a preparation for life, education is life itself. Please underline this. Education is not a preparation for the life, education is life itself. Every day we are educating ourselves, every day we are educating our team, every day we are educating our children, our spouse, etc., etc., etc. Even our educating our cars also, even though it is a machine. Correct? We educate it because I need to get the mileage. But still, everything is in the control of me only. I need to put a gear. I need to press on accelerator. But still, how often I need to put the brake? Everything makes us to say that education is not a preparation for the life. Education is life itself. And there is a beautiful quote from Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Yes, 100%. It is true. I could say that it is beyond 100%. Education is most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, right? Then a lot of things I spoke about the holistic learning and importance of holistic learning and holicism in a whole. Now we will enter into the education because we are in an education system. And we, the teachers as the profession, we are working in education organization, as an institution, as an university, as a college, right? So education plays again a major role. So education with a holistic perspective is concerned with the development of every person's intellectual, emotional, social, physical, artistic, creative, spiritual potentials. And it seeks to engage the students in teaching or learning process and encourages the personal and collective responsibility. And the picture depicts a lot more than this one statement. right? So education with a holistic perspective is concerned with the development of every person's emotional, social, physical, artistic, creative, spiritual potentials, right? And why is this education holistic? Education is so important, ma'am, because we saw holistic learning is important. You spoke now. Why the system should be holistic? Okay, because it is a very instills curiosity. Holistic education means what? Is it our education system is holistic? First of all, we need to check that. We need to look into it. And we need to develop a better communication, better social skills, better approach to encourage our children or students to make the connection in a subject, because we, the teachers, teach the subject. Correct? We teach programming. We teach only concepts. What is there in the syllabus? What is there in, okay, not in one book. When we were studying, it was not even dealt like that. At least now, 3 to 4 books, 3 to 5 journals, at least some 50 to, at least I could say. And now I'm doing that. Earlier, 2 textbooks was fine enough for me to teach in 1990s when I started my career as a teacher. Because I was like a Bavi Kappe. I was knowing only that. Because what my teacher would have been, and I was following that same process in the principle. Right? Then the experience, routine life, actual world I need to face means I need to open up myself. Right? So holistic approach encourage the children or the student to make the connection in the subjects, use their creative skills, develop the psychological, social, and emotional growth. So making the learning very natural and engaging it. We need to make the whole process of education as much as possible natural. It's not like that 90 degrees sitting is very, very important. No, discipline. Yes, I do agree. Discipline is required. But how you, as the teacher, maintain the discipline. And again, the word comes ethics and discipline. No partiality. No favorism. Because first desk students, wonderful students, very high, good ranking students, and they score very well and they write very neatly. So let me do a favor to them. No, be ethical. Even the last desk student would have been more intelligent, more knowledge based than your first desk student, right? So holistic education is parallelly important. And in old days or in the early years, the holistic learning or holistic approach towards the learning and education to the child development and the learning recognizes the connections of the mind. We might have observed that Gurukul concept in our ancient Ramayana, Mahabharata, right? We might have seen that, how the people used to study. They used to send the child to the Gurukula. No parents, no luxury life, no proper, delicious hygiene, wonderful food, right? They used to go to forest and they used to bring the wood to cook. They used to pluck the fruits. They used to get it to the ashram, right? Right? So holistic approach in early years or olden days, the learning recognizes the connection or the connectedness of the mind, the body and the spirit. And in the early learning, the child care workers were taking the holistic approach only to teach and make the boy or the girl to educate in the Gurukul system. They pay attention to the child's or the student's physical, personal, social, emotional, spiritual well-being, as well as I mentioned one word, cognitive aspects of learning. And as I mentioned, cognitive skills, cognitive as a word itself takes minimum 20 to 30 minutes to talk, even if it's not sufficient, I could say. Okay, then I said ambience also makes the more important parameter in an educative system, which could be called as a holistic. So I say holistic environment. Okay, before going to the development, let us finish off the holistic environment also. Okay, so what is this holistic learning, holistic education environment? What is this? It's the one stop, like your supermarkets, like your malls. When you enter, the mall, some XYZ mall, is it only groceries are sold there? Mall is meant to be called as a one stop. What do you mean by one stop? It is not only giving me the learning, the aspect of physical and social, it is also giving me to think, artistic, creative, emotional. I should not be very emotional and ask my husband saying that, can I take that? Can I buy this? Can I buy that? Can I buy this also? No. Right? So a lot of things play a role when I say holistic education system or holistic environment, but that environment must be safe. When I say I buy this, I buy this, I buy that, I buy that also, I must see what is there in the pocket of my husband. Is it sufficient balance is there in my husband's account? Or myself as a working professional lady, is it I'm having much finance in my account so that I can fulfill my desires? So again, the emotional connect, again, the physical connect, because we get angry, we show all our expressions in our face, isn't it? That leads to a lot of positive as well as negative aspects in our relationships. So the same thing happens in teaching learning process also. Okay, so your environment, the holistic environment must be a safe, supportive environment.
Okay, all the participants are hereby to wait for 2 minutes. Some technical issue will continue. Ma'am, you said your share
It's
your screen,
working?
ma'am. Now
Yeah,
audible,
yeah,
ma'am.
sure. I
You
shared
share your
already the screen.
yes, ma'am. Wait, I will add, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, holistic education was done, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, so let us move to the holistic development because much we spoke about the holistic learning, teaching, holistic education, holistic environment, holistic skills, right? So there are a lot more to talk on this holistic education because it plays a very vital role in our whole growth of a learner. Learner could be anybody, as I specified. Okay, so next thing is holistic development. Holistic development, again, it is comprising of a lot of things which you already covered and which we already touched upon, but little bit in brief I will say that what do you mean by this holistic development is or it refers to. So holistic development refers to the human development. I could say that holistic development refers to human development that is meant to involve all the parts of a person. This is the development designed to accommodate us in all the aspects of physical development, social development, mental growth, emotional skills development, then I could say cognitive skills development, language skills development. Actually, this picture very much pretty correlate and give and depicts the early childhood as the scenario I was taking from an early childhood, no, self-help skills. Yes, the child should have a self-help skills. If self-help is not there, there is an abnormality in the child, right? Sensory issue, they should chew the food, then only it will get digested, then only it will be releasing all the necessary things wherein our digestive system, my kidney, my liver, pancreas to work very well. And fine motor skills they need to have, they should know how to string a bead. Okay, as a mother I might have demonstrate or I might have demonstrated yesterday, but the child should use his or her brain to hold the string. The way how they hold it is unique. I need not say that what I have done today so my child or my student should do tomorrow. No, right? But everything will get interconnected and the development happens with respect to the social, with respect to spiritual, with respect to physical, gross motor, fine motor, sensory, language, cognitive, everything as a whole. Okay, so the student learns to interact with the others around them. When I interact with a student, okay, first 1 week he may not interact or she may not interact, but the next week their consciousness say that, hey, ma'am is putting a lot of effort and ma'am is talking to me so much, why can't I answer to her at least in one word? The next week the one word comes. The same thing happens with the child and the student's life also. So as we the teachers, we need to take care of this because social connectedness, the language, the communication, the emotional, the cognitive plays more major role in our students or in our class also, which will help the students to develop this holistic culture wherein they will be the winners in their life. They will be ready to handle the whole world. They will be ready to handle the whole world. So as I mentioned, the students will be in a position to build the logical skills, thinking skills, creative skills, self-awareness. Okay, ma'am is getting ready and coming. So why should I not come? I must also get ready and come. Okay. She tries to say good morning. She greets so well with a beautiful smile on her face. So let me also smile. See, these are all the very small things which we never imagine it. See, the happiness end of the day for any human being says that what I did, what I achieved, was it the happy, healthier day for me, end of the day? And that consciousness, that awareness should come from self, should be coming from your audience or your students also. And spatial awareness will be built in the students as the holistic development, which is not depicted here in the diagram. Don't worry about it. So physical skills, mental skills, language skills, emotional skills, creative skills, and logical thinking, creative thinking, and criticizing, I don't say more elaboratively on criticizing, but actually criticize should be the part of your development, holistic development. To be frank, as a child it is not required. When I criticize, then only I'll be learner. When I get criticism, then only I will learn. I will try to find out the mistakes. So the failures makes the success. Every failure is a success. It's not a full stop. So I failed today in my test, so end. No, I will not get the degree. No, that has to be acting like a basis for your education process, and that basis should take into the 0, 1, 2, 3 levels, right? So then there are a lot of key elements which play a major role in holistic development of a student, holistic development of a person. So as I mentioned, these are the only 4. To be frank, these are the 4 important key elements I could say, but there are the other elements which I listed out from a student perspective, from a child perspective in my previous slides in the contents. Okay, cognitive as a one element, wherein the thinking, problem solving, conceptual understanding, overall intelligence play a role. Physical, as I said, fine motor, gross motor, eye-hand coordination, balancing the body, build sensory capabilities. Self-emotional as an element where it helps us to develop all other areas, because once we connect to the nature, then only it will help me to walk happily. When I connect to the air, I breathe a very good air, that too with a very pure oxygen I'm going to get. See, I should connect to that. So understanding and expressing the emotions play a major role in the social emotional development or skills development. Build confidence and curiosity, social relationships, etc. So then the language, this is most important. Without the language, no communication happens. Without the expressivity, nothing will happen. Okay, if the person is not able to speak, the gestures can be used, right? So the part of upbringing, the brain develops rapidly, stimulates the sight, sound, speech patterns, where the sensory will come into picture, starts with the small words and move on to the complex sentences. The child does the same thing, blah, blah, blah. First babbling, then it starts with something like a first letter, last letter, then 2 letters of a word, 3 letters of a word, then the perfect word, small words. Then the child starts making the phrase with the 1 word to 2 word, 2 word to 3 word, then moves on and makes the complex sentences. The same thing holds good even in our education system, wherein we are handling our students to bring the holistic development to be there in place. Next is a lot of components other which I already discussed, but one more which I could not talk as morally development and academic development, because physical, social, cognitive, emotional, intellectual, spiritual also I'm not touching upon because I'm not a right person to talk on this. Okay, I know very basics of the spirituality and the well-being. Okay, so academic development is more important, as the student should get the knowledge to write the exam. I do agree academic also is one of the more important or the major component in a holistic development, and parallelly morally. So that is more important. But morally is not ethics, it's different. Okay, so there are different ways to handle these holistic development components, and one simple example, I took it as a case study here to say that what do you mean by a holistic lifestyle. In our daily life, there are 11 valuable steps which can help you or all of us to reach a more holistic, relaxed life. Okay, so practice the mindfulness. Morning we get up and we should not scream, correct? And normally our elders, our parents, and even the lot of yogic people are our gurus, are our yoga teachers or meditation teachers or whatever it is, friends, they might have told, once you get up, see the god or goddess. Normally the tradition says this, our ancient tradition, Hindu culture says this, practice the mindfulness. See, open up the palm, hold the palm open, because you are open to the world, you are open to grasp everything. You're keeping the palms open. You should not actually always close it. You should keep open your palms. Wherever you're sitting also, please start doing it. You will sense a lot of changes in your learning, grasping aspects, because you are keeping it everything open. You are trying to capture everything, not closing it. Okay, so practice mindfulness is the first valuable step in our routine life, actually saying. Okay, but I'm not taking the lot of examples because I'm running short of the time, and the 30 minutes is there to complete the session. So we need to have the living in a moment, in one of the most important values of the holistic lifestyle, what I could say, not caring about what the future brings in or what the others thinking about me or what my neighbor thinks, what I'm trying to make the best out of the situation, are the valuable skills what I need to have it. So that's why the practice mindfulness play a major role. So try to look at the things more objectively, okay? Instead of deciding whether it's good or bad, we need to think very sensitively, okay? So if you are having particularly the hard time in the morning, okay, might be the body pains, might be something, okay, try to do whatever is possible from your end. Okay, many days we may not go to walk, we may not do yoga, we may not do meditate. It might be necessary. Still, you can practice the mindfulness just by listening to something, soothing music, some good singer singing a very melodious song, Kishore Kumar, because I love the music, the songs of Kishore Kumar. Don't feel bad for it. Okay. You may listen to some shloka if you're very much interested and connected to the spirituality. So you may listen to some. Okay, you need not chant because you don't have time, because you got up late. You have to rush and run to your work. Okay, so you can reach more holistically in a relaxed way in our daily routine. So then second thing is recognize and respect the powers of your body. Yes, obviously, if my body is not allowing me to talk, I cannot talk. Not allowing me to move, I cannot move. Yes, obviously, right? So your body is a temple. You need to respect that. How we respect our puja room in our home? Do we go without taking bath? Right? There are a lot of restrictions. There are a lot of cultures. There are a lot of framework, the rules, the regulations, what our parents, our forefathers, grandfathers, and our culture as a Hinduism or Christianity or Islamic, whatever it is, we follow, we recognize and we respect the powers of our cultures, our body. So you should always take care of it. As a way, it is a very, very powerful, what I could say, contraption. Okay, so learn how to tap into the hidden powers of your body, and you can instruct your body. Today, I'm not able to get up. Please help me. Your mind, your soul, your brain will start activating that. Try to see that, and eat clean food. That is most important. You cannot eat junk in the morning itself. Drink water. There are a lot of things to know on this particular topic, as I mentioned. So eat clean food, clean and healthy food, clean and healthy and hygiene food. Okay, everyone are cautious about that in our right now current scenario and current situation. We do drink kashayams in the morning. We do drink hot water, right? So we do steaming. A lot of things are kept as a routine from last 10 months. Okay, so be sure to get fresh vegetables. If you are a vegetarian, if you are a non-vegetarian, see that how well you manage to eat the fresh meat and all. I'm sorry, I cannot elaborately talk on it because I'm a pure vegetarian. So be careful on what to eat, what not to eat, because pranic foods are there, negative prana, positive prana, a lot of things are there. Some things will not digest you, will not suit you. You need to identify that. So the fourth thing is focus on positive relationships. Yes, obviously, that is most important thing in our workplace also when I enter into my college. Focus on the positive relationship. Greeting the person, that makes the sense of establishing a positive relationship from the entrance. Have a smile on your face, wonderfully. Okay, so I'm not talking more on that. So you can fight with your friends, fight with your spouse, family members, partners, etc. So something just don't work out, please leave that. You are stuck in a loop if you give a priority to that. Ignore. House is house, spouse is spouse. Yes, I'm not going to divorce him, or he's not going to run away from me. Have such kind of a relationship bondage between you and your partner. Okay, morning we might have had a fighting, but not after 1 hour or after 2 hours or after a day, right? So that will not lead to a positive relationship to be retained. So you need to focus on that. The same thing happens with the teacher and the student. Okay, recycle energy. So don't overdo yourself and push yourself. Sorry, extremely sorry. Don't push yourself to encourage and take a different approach when simply you get into the leads of arguments, get into the leads of angerness and being negative and angry in the life. You can lead a lot of stress and difficulties to yourself as well as your subordinates, your students, your whole system, whole department. No, we should not do that. Okay, so that is most important. So there is no reason to do that. Okay, so sometimes we might be annoyed, we might be sad, but it's a constant thing. Okay, it should not be a continuous thing, it's a momentary thing. So momentary, minimum time span, fix it from now onwards. Don't have the fighting continue for 1 week with your partner. Have it for a day, or have it for a hour, or have it for a minute, and it comes to the moment also. The next moment you talk to your partner and your partner forgives you, or you may forgive your partner. So recycling itself is a pretty healthy way of living. So same thing applicable to the education system, holistic learning system, holistic teaching system, right? So let's grow. I mean, let yourself grow. Yes, too often we see that selfishness, and people are too stressed and worried about other aspects of the life. Oh, she got a car. Why I'm not getting? I have to ask my partner to get the car for me, right? Okay, so a lot of things happen. So you cannot focus on one subject, one particular aspect to lose your relationship, to bring the consequences where you are annoyed, you're annoying, and you're angry on XYZ, right? So you don't have to change drastically, bring it the change slowly. So then yourself, you grow and make everyone to go along with you. But don't have the selfishness attitude in you and among your team or your students or anybody. If you are teaching and your students are gaining, see that the same knowledge should pass through to the other set of students also, because they're all SVC students, 180 students. All 180 should get distinction, right? That is a target we must have as a teacher, right? And we should not have the mentality of talking in terms of only our boundaries. See the boundary as an infinite boundary. Okay, so then love life, be respectful as the seventh step. So life is the constant wheel of fortune. We know that it will be keep on moving, running, rotating. Okay, it will not stop. It will stop means we are died. Sometimes you are dealt with a bad hand, bad circumstances. Sometimes you might have hit with an accident, and a lot of aspects happen in our life. So you should not feel bad about for a long time. Okay, that moment, the pain is there. I fall down. Yes, obviously, I only fall. It got hurt. Yes, hurt is with me. So how do I heal that hurt? I need to find out a solution, and how better I can be there back to my work, back to my life, happily, healthily. I need to start respecting that. Okay, so there is no way of knowing what kind of a battle someone is going through. So always be respectful. So that is one thing. Then connectedness, I was keep on talking to you, mind connectivity, brain connectivity, physical connectivity, mental connectivity, emotional connectivity, cognitive, etc., etc. So be prepared for anything. So life can sometimes throw you a 4 balls, 7 balls, infinite number of balls. You must be ready to catch that. You must be ready to throw positively, not negatively. Okay, so be aware of your surroundings and try to make the best of the bad situation. So looks at the things, what it can be objectively, subjectively helping us, and we wish to learn and observe and do research. So I'm not talking on research and all here. Okay, so next is meditate. As a brief, I can tell you, because I'm not the right person to say about the meditation in depth in terms of holistic life cycle, I could say. So the art of meditation is one of the dedicated one, as I said, to achieve the mindfulness in the morning itself when we wake up from the sleep. Okay, so it can improve our life by significant margins, and you can make like 30 minutes or 15 minutes or even the 5 minutes normal inhalation exhalation will help us a lot, will increase our lifespan, to be frank, right? So sit down, otherwise calmly you sit. Nothing to do with any pranayamas or anything. Just sit calm for a few minutes. I should say not few minutes, at least have a boundary of 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Sit quiet. However you wanted to sit in a posture which is comfortable for you, that is called as a meditation. Sit calmly. Give a rest to your everything, not to your heart. Okay, your breathing. If you say full stop to your breath, you're dead. Okay, so sit down, relax, and focus on your breathing, focus on your meditation, because the meditation is proven to be the very effective method of dealing with your stress, dealing with your sickness, dealing with your illness, helps the people to make more sound decisions. Sit quiet for a few minutes, see how well you are. And the last point comes into picture, that is be active. Yes, this is 100% sure, in my case at least. Be active, even though there is an illness, there is a sickness, yes, there is a pain, there is a sad sorrowness in my mind, my brain is full of that. But be active, not in that activeness should be there in that sorrowness. Activeness, happiness should be there. Okay, we watch TV, we watch movie. How active we be, right? Okay, when we drive car, and if you are a passionate driver and you are very much interested, love to drive a Porsche car, Jaguar car, you will be very active, right? So you have to do the job also like that only. You have to do the teaching, learning, everything to be an active, right? In your daily life, it is so important to incorporate some form of an exercise into your daily routine life, so that the energy, what you need to have the energy after the work, what you need to have the energy before the work, and you do that. Whatever is the best possible for you, you do that. Like how the things we do it in teaching, right? Straight away we don't teach. That's why the pedagogies come. That's why the course objectives, course outcomes came. Earlier, nothing was there when I was teaching in Bangalore University and VTU. To be frank, 5 years back only everything started. I think all of you agree with me. Outcome-based education came. Earlier, what was there? When me and my age, kind of a 50, 45, 50, 55 plus 60, going to retired professor, if you ask, they say that, no, we didn't have all these. You're all graced people. You're all really wonderful students, wonderful youngsters, right? So, like this, the holistic life cycle, we need to have it in our daily routine life also. Then the word ethics, I'm bringing it quickly. I'm going to do this holistic ethics because much we spoke on it. Okay, holistic ethics involve a basic underlying concept of the unity, integral wholeness of all the people and of all nature that is identified, pursued by finding unity and wholeness within the self, within this framework. Acts are not performed for the sake of law, precedent, or social norms, but rather out of a sense doing good freely in order to witness, identify, contribute to unity. Okay, there are a lot of jargons which are being placed here as a holistic ethics, but as a nutshell, what I say is it's an integral part, it's a whole. Holistic ethics is a whole, which is underlying a lot of concepts, scratch from the getting up from the bed and going to the bed. The whole 12 hours or 14 hours depends on the sleep pattern, it depends on the lifestyle, what you have been adopted, and how much hours you're going to spend with your family and how much hours you will be there in the workplace, 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, we don't know. The wholeness of all the people, wholeness of the all nature, so which could be identified and pursued in such a way that we need to find out the unity, we need to find out the wholeness. Whatever I do it within, whatever I do it for myself, whatever I do it and express it to others, it's a framework. So I need to make it as an ethical whole framework. Okay, so that is holistic ethics. Then in general, the ethics, I need to speak to you because a lot of things are there in the basic ethics and your ethics in life and what are the examples of ethics. Everybody knows it, and you might be listening from a lot of other speakers in all other sessions continuously from last few days. Okay, so at its simplest, I just wanted to say very briefly on ethics. Ethics is nothing but system of moral respects. That's why I said morality and ethics are not same. That's two different things. Okay, so ethics is a system of moral principles. And do we teach or do we have the moral science in our students' syllabus as a child or as a school student? Earlier we used to have, when we studied, the moral science. Okay, then they affect, okay, they affect how the people make the decisions, how the people lead their lives, Okay, ethics is more concerned with what is good, what is bad, what is the good for the individual, what is good for the group, what is good for the peers, what is good for the society, what is bad for the society, and that is concerned to be defined as an ethic. That's why every letter in ethics makes the sense of holding it together. It's not 1, 2, 3 letters or 4 letters, right? Honestly, caring, compassion, integrity, personality, personal responsibility are the most important values that can help each one of us to behave happily, healthily. Then I use the word technical, ethically. Happy, healthy is part of your ethics. Okay, when faced with the ethical dilemmas, so in your personal life, the lot of illustrations, lot of examples you can give it with respect to the values in your personal life or professional life, the reasoning why the real life issues are like this. My teacher is not given anything on this, but still I need to face it. That is life. Okay, the problems are there, issues are there. So you may have faced personally those issues, but professionally, if the same issue comes, but you need to handle it in a professional manner, not in a personal manner. So there are circumstances, there are the situations wherein you and me as a person, as a human being, we need to act upon, but ethically we need to act upon. Okay, so a lot of examples we can give it for this ethics. So ethical behaviors in the workplace, which includes obeying, greeting, and we need to bind for the rule. 8:30 means 8:30 login. Yes. Okay, there might be a reason. I came late today, 9:45. Yes, there is a reason, but it should not be a habit. You must be ethic. You must be ethical. You must be true, honest, caring, sincere. We use a lot of terminologies like faithful, obedient, right? So effective communication, you need to make it there. The ethics fall in the life, and talking responsibility. Okay, and in a responsible way we need to talk, in a respected way we need to talk, and you need to take the responsibility so truthfully. And accountability, when the work is given to you, you need to be the accountable person in your team. As a subordinate, you have to do that. If you're not able to do that, see that the work is done from XYZ, as your friend he is. So he can help you out because you're not well today. Okay, so the accountability plays a major role as ethics in our life. Professionalism is absolutely, because we're all professional teachers. Okay, and we need to be more ethical, to be frank. So trustworthy, and mutually we need to respect each other. That each other could be your colleague, could be your spouse, could be your child, could be your student, could be your parent, could be your subordinate at your workplace. That makes the sense of ethics in life. A lot of examples we can list it out still. Okay, so then ethics in education. We saw holistic education. Now we are trying to deal with the ethics in education. So ethics is an abstraction about the moral values and the rules. Okay, so ethics has to do with a lot of social standards, to be frank. And morality is about the personal beliefs. So please try to understand. Ethics is more on the more, it has to do with the social development or social standards. But morality means it is in particularly about your personal beliefs. So that's why I say ethics and moralities are more, moral values are two different things. So ethics comes from the secular institutions, whereas the morality is a religious phenomena. And ethical judgments are very much what I could say absolute and objective, and moral judgments are relative and subjective. So it is meant for specific thing, morality means, because in person, as a personal belief I'm talking, I say that I get up and do meditate. It doesn't mean like everyone should get up and do meditate. It should come from them. It is within, I sense and I feed my brain and mind that I need to wake up by 4 o'clock. It doesn't mean like the whole family should get up by 4 o'clock, right? So there the ethical judgments are absolute and objective, but moral, when it comes, the moral judgments are subjective and relative. Okay, so as in a nutshell, I can say that in a one line of definition, ethics is an abstraction about the moral values and rules. And there are 4 principles of ethics in education, that is honesty, confidentiality, conflict of interest, responsibility. Okay, so very first one we'll take quickly. What is honesty? Everyone, we say honesty, but how much we are honest? I'll give a pause here. because every one of us, we should turn our finger towards us and we need to question ourselves and answer ourselves first of all, how much we are honest. Everywhere. I say, I'm not completely 100% honest. Why? I'll tell you. Might be 20 years back when I wanted to take a driving license. Not I bribed directly, but my agent or the driving school fellow might have bribed. Still, I would like to say this. They gave me the driving license in 1998 only with a LMV, low motor vehicle. Okay. But I was driving the two-wheeler. But they gave the rights saying that in my DL, she is ready to drive a car. Even though there was a car and I took a test to drive, but I was not a perfect, honestly say that I was a perfect driver. Still today I say I'm not a perfect driver because we are the learners. I say, yes, I'm very good at driving, but I don't say honestly that I'm a perfect driver because I do mistakes sometimes. Our mind, our connectedness with the brain and the heart and the stress and the system and the process and the responses, the roles might make us to do a mistake. So how much you are honest, that makes the sense. So honesty is a very important trait to have in education system. I took a personal example to demonstrate this. But honesty means being loyal. And I really apply this formula. Be loyal to your company, be loyal to your spouse. That loyal is a one term, is a one principle which makes everyone to be happy, healthy. Whether you grow or not, it is immaterial, man, because be loyal to the company and the company grows, and the company grows means you grow. This is a statement I used to give in a lot of talks, lot of trainings, and even I was adopted this principle in my life also. But now I say as a whole, I'm not. You be happy today, be healthy today. That makes the things to come to you. Earlier, the mindset was different. 10 years back, 1 or 2 decades back, right? So honesty means being loyal, truthful, trustworthy, sincere, fair, faithful, obediency, etc., etc. So it is an admirable in several cultures, several religions. So honesty does not come very naturally in everyone. Okay, might be we might have bribed. That's what I confessed. I'm not so saying that 100% I was honest 20 years back when I took the driving license, right? But now if I ask, I say my daughter or my son, to be honest, 100%, because I learned, holistically, I learned the ethics in myself, educating my child that you drive properly, then only you are allowed to go for a tested drive, because that statement was not given from my concerned community or the society or my parents, because that time 20 years back, the circumstance and the situation and the life and the society was different, but now it is different. We are the educators, so we can imbibe this in our students, like be honest, write honestly. Even if you are not writing the complete answer, I give you the marks, but I make the statement with my students honestly, because I need honesty in writing the answer, not cheating, copying. Now online, horrible, right? We know that. It is dishonesty, writing the answer scripts online, okay? Sorry for the disturbance. The second one is confidentiality, which is the most important role, like honesty, okay? Confidentiality. Oh, sorry, where I was here, okay? So what is this confidentiality? It is one of the other ethics that is very much essential in our education system. As the educators, we need to be very confident. Confidentially, I need to go deliver the talk, not something which is not relevant to the topic. I cannot speak. If you want to say 10 minutes talk, do it confidentially. What you know, confidentially you speak. The student's interest will be built. Student connectedness will increase, right? So the confidentiality is one of the other aspect of ethics that is very much essential in education system, education process. As an educator, we must be confidential, okay? Then the third thing is conflict of interest. So conflict of interest ethic in education is a condition. conflict of interest means it's a condition in which your main responsibility to a student is negotiated by engaging the priority. You say that, yeah, topic 1 is very important, because always in question papers of VTU, you can see a question on this. 8 marks, give a priority. But when you give the priority, you equally balance it. The conflict of interest says that you try to balance, you try to negotiate with the student engagements to give the priority. That does not mean like leave the topic, prepare only this much, so you will get distinction. Don't do that. Okay, so conflict of interest can display the variety of context, and for several various reasons, it may vary also. It cannot be unique, and I will not say conflict of interest will be very much unique, or it is same as one to another. No, it is unique with everyone perspective. It is going to vary. Okay, but how well you take it, how well you deliver it, how well you make everyone to follow it, that makes the sense of conflict of interest as one of the principle of ethics in education. Then 100% sure the responsibility comes into picture. Okay, so along with all the 3 aspects, like the principles like honesty, confidentiality, conflict of interest, the responsibility play a very much vital role in the ethics, that is in the system, or as a principle of ethics in education. The student responsibility to take the exams, the student responsibility to take when the students take the engagements or energetic part in an event, energetic role in their studies, energetic role in participating in a volleyball competition, energetic role in craft, energetic role in designing, energetic role in thinking, etc. So the student must be taking an energetic part in the activity, that is mainly study, 100% no doubt about it, in their studies, by acknowledging that they are responsible for their academic success. It's not me and you are going to be we are the role models, we are taking the part, we are the roles, because we are playing a role, but we are not going to write the exam, we are not going to face the viva, we are not going to do the project. Okay, we may assist, we might be the helpers, assisting, right, persons, but they are the highly responsible persons for their academic success. So these are the 4 important things which have been elaboratively given in the slide. I'll just quickly move ahead. Okay, so confidentiality, conflict of interest, responsibility, then in the classroom, the culture. Okay, ethics in education is most important. Why? Because they assist to run the system smoothly. As we, the teachers, as we, the students, as we, the parents, because I'm also a parent, my children go to school, so I need to have that ethic as an ethical parent. So we respect each other. So I need to respect the school, I need to respect the management, I need to respect the whole process, whole education system. So we respect each other, then we try to do our best for each other. Then we are the team. Always we need to think and dream and execute it and become a team. It's not a one-person show or one man and one woman show. Okay? So they say that for every successful man, there is a woman behind it. I don't say that it's a team behind it. Okay? So we learn from the mistakes, 100%. There is no full stop for the mistake. We should not put a break. We should not give a full stop, the period operator. We should give a comma, always pause. Try to rectify that error. Try to come out from that mistake and see that you don't do mistake again. So like that, the culture, we need to bring it in our classroom. So we learn from the mistakes. So we have to ensure that our students also learn from the mistake. It's not like by heart and come and give the answer 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. I have to appreciate 10 plus 20 is equal to 50 first. Then my student will come out with the final answer as 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. Then we have to create, yes, absolutely. We need to create that ambience. We need to create that culture. We need to create that interest. We need to create that whole process in place. We, the teachers, play a major role. We, the educators, or the education system, or the education process, play a major role. So we celebrate each other's success. Is 100% true? We should not feel jealous, we should not feel bad, we should not annoy, we should not, etc., etc. But have a happy, healthy environment, holistically, I say, as a whole, not outside. Inner also works so much for your body to be healthy and happy. Okay, externally we may smile, but internally we might be cursing, right? Don't do that. So you should correlate in such a way that your inner sense and external sense both should be same, both should be the one, right? So this is the kind of an environment or the process or the education system we need to have it. This is a one the depict of a classroom picture. Okay, the last is the ethics and teaching and learning as a whole. So my code of ethics towards students, towards practice, towards performance. Okay, so towards the parents and the stakeholders community, towards the professional colleagues. A lot of things we have discussed. Okay, so towards the practice and the performance means 100% I have to adhere. It means we have to adhere to the terms and the conditions of the whole system. If the 60 minutes class is given, so I need to do it in 60 minutes. Okay, I might have engaged 5 minutes early. I might have engaged 5 minutes extended class, or I may left 5 minutes, but I need to have a justification to myself first, to my stakeholders second, right? So professionally, I need to accept that and I need to go with that. Then I have to continue to grow my knowledge professionally, because we the teachers, we cannot put a full stop. As I mentioned, we are the learners. Every day we will be learning. Even after retirement, 100% sure, we all will be the learners. That the holistic learners we have to be, not just the learners. So towards parents in the community means I will really say that where your ward or the student or the child is, the child's progress is, and the information about the positive, negative both has to be given timely in a proper way to the parents. 100%, no doubt about it. Even if it is negative, please say in what way we can convey, in what perspective we need to convince, and in what way we need to treat the parent with the respect, because the parent is the teacher first, then be the teachers to the students. Okay, so there are a lot of things play a major role to maintain the positive and active role in the community in which we teach and we live. Then towards the student and towards the professional colleagues comes into the picture. It's a 4-quadrant actually. Okay, so towards the students, I'll pick it up first, because we the teachers, we need to give actually we should not prioritize as much as possible. The students are so important to run our education system, so parallelly even the teachers are very much important. When I say teachers, subordinates, colleagues, peers, everybody play an equal role. So we will hold the students to the highest learning standards, and we need to give them the rules and the regulations. We need to teach them the ethics in learning, ethics in understanding, ethics in discipline, ethics in the behavioral skills. When it comes to behavior, a lot of behaviors are there. So end of the day, we need to see that the student must be ready to face the real world, and he or she must be needed to succeed and never deny that the learning opportunities. So they need to take it up. Whatever the things are coming in their life, they need to learn. They need to go ahead. They need to enjoy it. They need to maintain the healthy, happier environment so that they will be happy and everyone will be happy and healthy, right? So then towards the professional colleagues, when I say, if I'm ethical, I see that even everyone should follow in line as a HOD, as a professor, as a principal, as a management, okay, as a chairman. So we have to see that will not release any personal grudges, personal like inconnectedness, I could say, the information about the colleagues until unless it is necessary. Why we should talk something? Until unless it is necessary, okay, let us talk about some XYZ with PQR. If it is not necessary, no need to talk. So there the ethics come into picture. Okay, and we will be, we have to respect all our peer groups, all our colleagues, all our, the teaching mates or the teachers or the professors or the higher end people, the whole hierarchical organizational team, we need to respect first of all. Okay, then that respectedness, healthy, happier environment when we build, automatically it will start collaborating, then coordinating willingly with all the colleagues, and support will be given and support will be taken from their ends. Then only the healthy teamwork will happen, healthy integrated system will be in place, and everyone will grow. When the institution grow, when a company grow, when I grow, my family grows. So same thing. I correlate with the institution or the whole system. Okay. So this is about the ethics in teaching and learning, and the ethical conduct towards the students. As the educator, we should treat all the students with the respect and courtesy. Should prepare, we ourselves as the educator should prepare and be prepared for our daily lessons. And it's more on the technical terminology. It's not like, okay. So should strive to meet the individual emotional, social, intellectual needs of the student. Should utilize a variety of research-based strategies, a lot of case studies, a lot of scenario-based examples, practical-based examples to make the topic to be understandable by the student community, and a lot of techniques I may use. That could be the technique which is information-based technique or information technology-based technique, or it could be a realistic life daily routine technique which will meet the many learning styles to be presented in the classroom. It's not like we used to say that bookworm, bookish knowledge, or might be we would have got all these compliments or comments when we used to be in college also, I think. And many times I get this really now also, that like you have got a limited boundary. You have put your boundary yourself, and you know only this much. You never think beyond that. Like that, the comments and the compliments, normally we get it in our life. So we see that we should not do that. We should utilize a variety of the scenario based, realistic, real daily routine based, daily life examples, techniques, which is technically defined with an algorithm I may take to explain some process. So we need to meet end of the day, the learning styles will be presented in the classroom, which will end up in a very good outcome. That outcome is obviously getting a good degrees and be loyal and be happy, and they will be ready to handle the whole world. So should strive to help all the students to reach their full potential. So, sir, I'm in the session, sir. Sir, I'm in the session. Okay. So sorry really for the disturbance, because I have to take up my boss call. Okay. The code of instructional ethics for the educational administrator, it is purely for the whole management, whole system, and the whole process. So making the well-being of the students a fundamental value of all the decision makings, honesty, integrity of fulfilling the professional responsibilities, protecting the civil and human rights of all the individuals, obeying the local, state, government laws or national laws. We cannot run the college haphazardly because we need to bind for an university. So that is VTU, we are binded. The rules and the regulation and the norms, we are processing it. And we do work with the syllabus, what the VTU gives us, because as an autonomous institution means we will have the right to set our own syllabus. So we need to bind with the laws, rules, regulations, locally, state-wise, national-wise. Implementing the administrative rules and regulations of the affiliation institution, like AICT is the one, the system which is there in to give the affiliations to the institution. So pursuing the appropriate measures to correct the regulations that are not that are not in conformity with sound educational goals, avoiding the use of the position for personal gains. This is 100%. I say that we, the educators, we need to teach our students. We need to see that we should avoid using the positions. So I'm an IAS officer, so let me use my position. No, that's wrong actually. That's why the people gives that unethical. Okay. So accepting the academic degrees of the accredited institution only, yes, 100%, no doubt about it. Maintaining the standards and making the research of containing professional development, honoring all contracts until the fulfillment or release. This is most important. Okay. So I have come to the conclusion of holistic ethics in learning. And we started our journey of, it's a summary part of my whole session from last 2 hours, if I'm not wrong, because might be we may have missed that 5-6 minutes of time in setting up technical issues and one call also. I'm really extremely sorry. Okay, so we have started understanding the holistic ethics in learning, but as a nutshell, directly I could not enter into the topic. So that's why I started making you to understand what is holistic first in a layman perspective, what are the synonyms. Then I started making you to know the definition of holicism, right? Then holistic in learning, holistic in teaching, holistic in lifestyle, holistic ethic, right? Holistic education system. Then we moved into the holistic ethics as a main topic. Then in that ethics, right? then ethics as a teacher, right? Ethics for the teaching profession, ethics in learning process, then ethics in education system, education process, education organization. So our intention is to create our reality ethically. I would like to add that. So it's our responsibility to create our reality, right? So this really, I loved it. That's why I have put it, our intention creates our reality. Then this is wonderfully, because I started talking to you a lot of emotional, cognitive, gross, fine motor, sensory, lot of things from the child. So do not educate your child to be rich. Educate him or her to be happy. So when he or she grow up, he or she will know the values of things, not the price. So this, as an educator, we need to give it to the students. As a mother, give it to the child. As a sister, give it to the brother. As a spouse, give it to your partner. Okay. So like this, I would like to conclude my session for the day. I hope everyone would have really got a key takeaway from this session. And I would like to thank our management, first of all. So SSC management, our chairman, our CED sir, then our beloved, respected principal sir, and my own colleague and my ma'am, that is HOD of Vijayashree, HOD of Triple E and Mechatronics Department, Vijayashree ma'am, who has given me the opportunity to come and deliver today on the holistic ethics in learning. And I would like to be thankful to the entire team of this FDP who has been organized very meticulously, very nicely in a proper fashion, communication, understanding, planning, delivering, execution under the leadership of Vijayashree ma'am. I would like to thank you, and I would like to thank with a patient hearing from all the audience, whoever are connected to the session today. And finally, I thank everyone, directly, indirectly, for this opportunity given to me.
Madam, it's a nice and informative session, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Still now, no questions, madam.
Oh, wonderful. Then people would have understood everything from my talk.
Yes, madam.
I believe in that. But actually, question and answer makes the sense of the level of understanding. I do agree, but it's an online process. I do agree, virtual sessions, it's openness, hardly it comes out. When it is offline, 100%, I would have made my audience to talk. I would have not left. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much to everyone.
Okay.